I heard the term childproofing your house before, but never really thought much of it until my son was born and he started roaming around the house a little bit. I figured, you just put a gate up here and make sure things are off the floor and you'll be fine. But I was surprised to find out just what little ones can get into when they start getting curious about what's out there. There are a number of things that you can do to help keep your kids safe and your house intact. I'll start off with discussing some of the dangers around the house. Then I'll talk about some simple solutions to fixing those dangers, and then I'll show you some of the things that we've used to really kind of lock down our house for our little curious one. Kids are naturally curious, and when they get mobile, they start getting into everything. Some things they like to get into are the stairs. It seems to be a favorite place for them. With the obvious danger being that they can fall down and hurt themselves. But there's also other things like getting into the cabinets. Now this becomes a real danger because a lot of people tend to store cleaning supplies and such underneath the kitchen cabinets or the bathroom cabinets. So that just creates those issues. But there's also some other things that people don't tend to think about very much, and that's, say, the electrical socket and even the blinds. The cord from the blind can get wrapped around the kid's neck and strangle them. So that's something most people don't think about, but everybody should. Now I've told you a little bit about the dangers. I'll tell you some simple solutions to keeping kids safe. One of the things, the easiest thing to do is just limit where they go. Close off rooms, close doors, put up gates, those kind of things, and make sure that you keep them in the central area. Living room is probably the best one because it's usually one of the bigger rooms, and there's just more things you can do in there. Some of the things that you don't tend to think about is keeping things off the floor. Kids stick everything in their mouth, so any little thing that they get can cause a choking hazard. So you definitely want to make sure that that's taken care of, and make sure that you lock up any your cabinets and some things. So to kind of help with alleviating some of the dangers, I've got some things here that we've used that I'd like to show you and say what we've done with them. One of the most common ones probably is the baby gate. You use these on most doorways. Keeps kids in. You can actually adjust the width to the door frame. All you do is you put it in the door frame, you lock it down, and it's not going to move. And then when you want to move it out of the way, you just take the lock out and spin. Now there are some ones that actually bolt to the door, to the walls. Those are great because they offer a little bit more security and a little more sturdy, but you can't move them as easily. Another thing, doors. Kids love doors, and once they actually get up to that height, they start pulling on them, and they'll open the doors. So, one thing you can get are these rubber doorknob covers, or plastic doorknob covers. They just simply snap over the doorknob, and if the kid tries to open the door, it just spins. But if an adult wants to do it, they just push down the two rubber bits, and the rubber bits on the inside will clamp around the doorknob, you twist, and it opens. Now these things work really great. They actually work great against other adults as well. So, my son can't get through them, and he's almost fine. Another thing are cabinets. There's a couple of different ways you can do the cabinets. One of the things we've done are these brackets that actually mount to the cabinet door and then the cabinet itself. And what these are for is, say you just have a single cabinet or doors that when you close the cabinet, they lock into place, and then and it'll only open up about that far. So what you do when you want to open it, if you open it just a little bit, not quite as wide as it'll go, and push down on it, and then you can open the door. It's great for those kind of things, but they're a little more difficult to use, and it's a lot more time consuming to put them on. Whereas if you have handles on your doors, or bigger doorknobs on your cabinet, you can use one of these. It simply slides through the door handles or over the knobs, and then you adjust it to whatever width you need, and then the door's made. These are really great because they're really easy on, easy off. Kids can tend to get to these, figure these out a little quicker than the other ones, but they're still really good fun. Another thing are the electrical sockets. Most people don't think about these, but this is just a little piece of plastic, shaped just like a plug, and it's flat on the outside. You simply plug it into the plug, and here you go. It's impossible for the kids to get them off, and it's nearly impossible for adults to get them off. So they work extremely well, and they just become more of hassle when you have to take them off. But in the long run, I'd rather take a little bit more of a hassle getting these off than, rush my son sticking something into an electrical socket. Last one that most people don't think about are the blind cords. You have this handy little contraption that all you do is you take the cord and you put it through the two little plastic bits there. You snap this in place and then you string it. And what it does is it basically wraps the cord into it to where instead of having a cord that goes from the top of the blind to the bottom, the cord ends up being a little bit smaller. And it goes all the way up to the top, so you don't have to worry about your kids getting caught up in those things. So, most people think their house is pretty safe. But once they have a toddler roaming around, they usually find out that it's not quite as safe as they had thought. There's dangers all over the place. There's stairs, there's cabinets, there's things in the cabinets that kids can get into. But there's many different ways you can fix that. Put up gates, you can block off certain areas, or you can find different items that are specifically made to keep your kids safe. Something that can be bought at most stores. You can go to Walmart, you can go to Babies R Us, and they'll have all these items and many other items that we just didn't find a need for, but other people know. You really want to use these type of things if you have a little toddler running around. They're going to help keep your kids safe and keep your blood pressure low.